Tealana Talks, Shakedown.
Hi guys, welcome to Tealana Talks, the weekly shakedown. I'm here to give you my weekly on movies, society, clown town, everything that's happening. So let's go. I stayed very busy this week, worked 6 days, saw a whole bunch of new movies that are out, which I'm really excited to talk to you about. One of the movies I saw was D&D. I think everybody should go see this movie. I personally have never played. The little knowledge I have stems from Stranger Things, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought the CGI was great, the casting was on point, it was fast-paced, it was engaging. It didn't feel like a foreign world, even though I had never played the game before. And I thought there were strong women characters without there being any political wokeness or influence added into it. It was witty, it was fun, and I found out that when I was thinking about the movie after I'd watched it, I was like, I just experienced 2 hours and 14 minutes of peace. I wasn't thinking about anything in the outside world. I wasn't distracted. I was captivated by the story, and it was a must see. It's good for families, everybody in the movie theater. It was the first time I've gone to the movie theater in a while where everybody seemed engaged, everybody seemed connected. There was nobody on their phones or talking or standing up to go to the bathroom a million times because they were just there to be there. Everybody was there to watch a movie, and the magic of that was awesome. I definitely suggest you go see Dungeons and Dragons, The Honor of Thieves. Thieves. The title is very hard to pronounce, at least to me, but it was so good. Casting on point, acting on point, very fast-paced, witty, an escape, really, and that is something I truly loved about the movie. And just one more thing about D&D, it just gave me hope for movies to come. Actually, a lot of these movies did. I'm going to talk about Air, the Michael Jordan Nike movie, John Wick, Chapter 4, and then D&D. These movies all gave me hope for future movies. Everything has been so saturated, remade, politicized, that it was just so beautiful to experience these 3 movies and just enjoy them and have art in that medium be an escape from reality. So I commend these movies wholeheartedly. So John Wick, if you've ever seen the movies, very graphic, very violent, but masterfully done in a lot of different ways. It was action-packed. I believe it was the perfect ending to this franchise. Now, I have heard that there's talks of John Wick 5. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. Personally, I don't want the universe to end. Once you get sucked in, you want it to continue, and you look forward to seeing these characters and how they develop into the future and what they do. But I would say if this universe came to an end and it didn't franchise out more, I wouldn't be disappointed. I thought the ending was perfect. When you think about the franchise as a whole and how all the movies came together, I thoroughly enjoyed John Wick, and I think anybody that doesn't have a weak stomach or doesn't have, PTSD from guns and hearing the shots and seeing people being stabbed, and if you're mentally sound to go see this movie, it really is so good. The John Wick universe is so great. Obviously, you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit. How many times can you take a hit without falling down? But it really does show perseverance and willpower, and I do think that is a strong message to go out to people. Honestly, we need to persevere. We need that willpower and something that, hang on. A lot of people say, a lot of people that don't like John Wick are the people that are like, "Ah, he did all this because of a stupid dog." But it wasn't just about the dog, it was everything that entailed it. And yeah, he also does just have this tendency to be a part of that nature. But overall, it's just phenomenal movies, and I suggest everybody should watch it. I don't think children should be watching it, but, you know, 14 plus, maybe give or take. It's violent, but so good, so good. But if you are able to suspend your disbelief, then you are in for a world of amazing willpower, mass destruction, and the action shots are phenomenal, and you'll never get bored with the creativity that is placed inside this universe. Must see, 2 thumbs up. So great. I also gave Air a shot. It was very last minute. I was actually going to go see the new Mario movie, but I ran out of time. I was held up at late work, and so I was looking through, I'm an AMC STEM member, so I was looking at movies that were about to play at the theater next to my work, and Air came up, and I was like, okay, I'm interested in seeing this, and I'm so happy I did. It was a great biopic, sports drama, directed by Ben Affleck. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Looking into the rise of Michael Jordan within the Nike company was very interesting. This gives nothing away, but they never show Michael Jordan. He's more there in the background, and his mother is the one that really takes a stand and puts forth this contract, and she was played by Viola Davis, who is just a phenomenal actress. So I was very pleased with the way it was filmed, within the nostalgia, and what more can you ask for? Just simple, straightforward. Once again, no political bias or wokeness implanted and seeded into this movie. It was a biopic, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Also, I watched Murder Mystery 2. It was okay. Could have been worse. Could have been better. I think my problem with the movie, and this is just what I couldn't enjoy the movie. The reason why I couldn't enjoy the movie was because Jennifer Aniston looked like a fucking alien. She's had so much plastic surgery, her face doesn't move, and then so her lips are just like this, and like nothing moves on her face, and it was very distracting, and I can't get around it. And that's the same problem I had with her in Dumpling. And do whatever you want with your body. I don't give 2 shits if you get plastic surgery. Not my monkey, not my circus. If you feel like you look better with it, but just on a viewer's end, for me, it was very distracting, very unnatural not to be able to like see facial expressions, and it really distracted me from the movie. I can't even really remember the movie because all I thought about the whole movie was, wow, her face literally doesn't move. And it sucks because Jennifer Aniston, I always thought, was pretty and would have aged naturally, just aged beautiful and naturally. And I don't know, Hollywood, man. Hollywood. But like I said, her body, her choice. She has the money to do buku things to her face and whatever she wants to do. So good on ya. But it was distracting for me as a viewer. I don't know what you guys thought. Let me know in the comments below. What else did I watch? Oh my God. So I've only watched 1 episode. I think there's 2 out. And I'm going to watch it. And I'm going to report on it. But it is not going to be good. I can tell you that from episode 1. And that is Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies. Now, this is a mixture kind of Riverdale and, what's that movie? High School Musical. But it does not hit the mark. And it sucks because when I heard they were doing this, I was like, okay, cool. I would be interested to see the Rise of the Pink Ladies. But not anymore. This is what I mean by wokeness. If you want to insert your political values and ideals into film, by all means, you are the creator of your art. But when you do it on such a on the nose point of view, it takes me out of it. And you know what? Maybe it's some people's jam. Maybe some people will like that. Good on you. But I will tell you right now, it is not my jam. It seems forced. It seems fake. It doesn't seem authentic or organic. And like I said, I'm going to watch it to critique it, but I don't know. It might be brutal to watch. So let me just tell you. First of all, it's confusing as fuck because the main character, Jane, she's white. She's white. And her mom is black. And her dad is like Italian. She looks nothing like her family. I'm sorry, but there's enough actors out there in the world that you can make a family look like a family. Jane is not black, as far as my understanding goes from this television series. But her mom is straight up black. Now, tell me, does 2 + 2 = 4 or does it equal 5? Because I think right now it's equaling 5, and that just is not correct. Let me know if I'm missing something. I think the girl that's a little bit of a misfit, I can't remember her name, looks more like the daughter of the mother. The mother and Jane look like the same age. Everything is just back-asswards. Nothing seems authentic or real. It just feels like blind casting, which to me does not work for this. This does not work for blind casting. Blind casting has its time and place, and it is not for this, let me tell you. So that was very confusing. The music just doesn't feel in time period, and I feel like there's a way to make the music feel in time period but still making it feel modernized. But the music wasn't good. Nothing stood out to me. I felt like all the lip syncing was kind of off or felt vague or just felt out of it. I do love the outfits, but I always love a little 50s get up. I think they're so cute. The story is so focused on inclusivity that it takes away from the story, and it just makes something that could have been good just so bad. Just so bad. There's ways to be progressive without throwing ideas in people's faces. And they kind of have this West Side Story thing going on where, one of the T-Birds is a woman and she wants to be a part of the boy gang. That's all fine. Like, you can hang out with the boys, sweetie. You can. That's okay. But I just know they're going to have this whole entire episode. I don't know. This is just my gut feeling. Is that they're going to have a whole entire episode about this girl coming out as trans, and I don't know. It just seems a little on the nose for me. It seems like, look at us. We're inclusive. We did that for you guys, which almost feels offensive to me. It almost feels offensive to me. It's like Dylan Mulvaney. You're almost making a mockery out of the situation. That is how I feel when things are on the nose. I feel like you are making a mockery out of the situation. Plain and simple. I don't know. It just feels so forced. It feels so forced. It feels so down your throat. It's a lazy style of inserting political ideas into people's life, and especially young people, just really, really ingraining them into a mockery of a lifestyle. And I just don't agree with that. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm gonna be cringed out. I honestly can tell you that 100%. And so speaking of Clowntown, Dylan Mulvaney is the new spokeswoman for Bud Light and for Nike's women's sportswear. Nike responded to its backlash and wrote on their Instagram, be kind, be inclusive, encourage each other. I don't think people are mad about a trans person being the face of something. I think people are mad that Dylan Mulvaney gets to be the face. And I feel like it takes away from actual people that are trans. That's what I think. Mulvaney is such a caricature of what it is to be a woman, and he makes us look like a mockery. I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. There's ways to be inclusive without. It's like Nike and Bud Light. They're like, oh fuck, people want inclusivity. Let's pick who has the most Instagram followers. That is not how this should work. Dylan Mulvaney needs a reality check. He, she, whatever they want to be for the day is not inclusive to the trans community, I don't think. I think she makes a mockery of being a woman. Her 365 days of girlhood, she gets to go meet the president. She gets to go do all this stuff. What about biological women? You're taking away from biological women. You don't know. You're never going to know what it's like to have a period. She says she can be a mother. Okay, if you adopt a child, you don't have a uterus. You cannot bear children. You will not be a mother. Plain and simple. We have to start getting these delusions out of our head and stop going to Clown Town. It is so bad for our society to be seeing this. Anyway, off my soapbox. So that's what I'm trying to say is I don't care if Bud Light or Nike I'm a little bit iffy on because they are promoting women's sportswear. So whatever, you can wear whatever you want. If you're a man and you want to buy women's clothes, I don't fucking care. Wear what you want. But what about biological women? There's plenty of people you could have found to be a spokesperson for women's sportswear. As for Bud Light, if Bud Light wanted to be inclusive and be all about transgenderism, fine. But why Dylan Mulvaney? I just want to know why. Why? Let me know, because I cannot think of an answer that's not offensive. I just can't. Also in Clown Town, Leah Thomas is back in the news world because Riley Gangs just went to a women's rights protest at San Francisco State University and allegedly was attacked by trans activists. Now, I have searched up and down for this speech. I want to know what she said. I did find something, but then somebody pointed out to me that she was wearing two different things at the time of the attack and the speech, so maybe that speech was cut and clipped and pasted. Who knows? You can do anything with social media these days. But supposedly, allegedly, she was attacked. Now, there are lots of videos circulating of trans activists yelling at her, screaming at her, calling her a stupid bitch. Nowhere in the video do you see, she said she got punched twice in the shoulder and grazed across her face. And nowhere in any videos have I seen has that happened. But I believe it could have happened because people that are yelling at the top of their lungs and are fighting so clamorously and just in your face are just angry. They're toddlers. That's what happens. When toddlers act out, they scream, they cry, they kick because they can't they don't know how to express in an intellectual way their emotions. So I suggest that all these activists that like to scream and spit and stomp in your face and punch on any side, left or right, I don't fucking care, y'all are crazy. Read a fucking book. Learn how to communicate with people. Learn how to identify your emotions because you look like a damn fool. Plain and simple. Trust me, it still happens to me. It's not easy. Even as an adult, like I'll feel things and I'll get angry and I won't know how to verbalize them and I'll act out. But then you have to take a step back and you have to realize, like, oh wow, that was really embarrassing, that was childish behavior. I'm an adult, I need to act like one, I need to be a part of a civilized society. And that means that if I'm at a protest, I'm not gonna spit at people, I'm not gonna punch people, I'm not going to call people stupid bitches for what they believe in. We have minds that we can use to collaborate and speak and listen and communicate. Why aren't we using our heads? Good fucking Lord. So anyway, there was footage that's really hard to find, but Riley Gaines is a competitive female swimmer, and when Leah Thomas entered in the, how do I say this delicately, said he was a woman, she was allowed into the locker room without any of the other females knowing, drop trow, dick out, nobody was aware, there was no consent, everybody was uncomfortable. A lot of these women aren't speaking out, or if they do say they were uncomfortable, they're not providing their name, and it's completely confidential because they're scared of the backlash that the woke mob is going to put onto them. And that is not safe. That is not a safe space. People are allowed to have views. They're allowed to have their rights. Why are women's rights being taken away from biological women for women that were born male and transition? Let me know what you think in the comments. I feel bad for the small percent of people who were born into the wrong body and they have to live with it and make the life-altering decision if they want to take hormones and medication for the rest of their lives and, alter their body to feel more like they should. I feel for those people. I don't know what it would feel like. I've always felt like a woman. I've never, even when I had my little tomboy stage and I wore really baggy clothes and, whatever. I guess I was never a tomboy, but the point is I don't know how those people feel, so it's hard for me to empathize with them because that's just not a feeling I'll ever know. And I'm sure it's scary. It's scary to feel and disheartening to feel like you're trapped inside of a body that isn't yours or you don't feel comfortable in. So I'm not trying to take that away from you, but at the end of the day, males do not belong in women's sports. Physically, physiologically, mentally, men are different than women. And that is just facts. Take it or leave it, woke mob. Good Lord. It's one thing to chant trans rights are human rights, but it's another thing to get violence, to hit, to spit, to call people stupid bitches, or just name call. Like, we're not in second grade anymore. Get over yourself. You make yourself sound like you can't have an intelligent conversation. And no one is saying that people that have gender dysphoria and or choose to be transition don't deserve rights. Humans deserve human rights. And I don't speak for the people that do think trans people don't deserve rights. I don't speak to those people. I know trans people exist. I know they walk among us. And I think if they truly do either suffer from gender dysmorphia or they choose to transition for some other reason, then they deserve rights. But to throw it in other people's faces and make a mockery of it, that is what is not acceptable, and that is what it is becoming. It's becoming this social contagion within the youth, and it's with people like Dylan Mulvaney that really put this social contagion on a trajectory instead of letting kids just be kids. Everybody has to identify as something now, And I'm sorry, kids feel uncomfortable going through puberty. That's just how it is. That does not mean because you're uncomfortable with your own skin, you automatically need to identify as a different gender. That is not how this works, but that is what society is telling these little kids. And it's not okay. It's just not. Got off on a tangent. All I'm saying is that biological men don't belong in biological women's sports. That is the way the cookie crumbles. I'm fat, I'm short, I have scoliosis. You're not gonna see the fucking NBA or NFL fucking draft me, because that is not how it works. I can't identify as a 6'4" linebacker. That's the way you guys sound. Sorry, I went on a tangent there. Let me know how you I just get really passionate about it because when people keep on saying, like, if you don't support everything that we think fits into this box, then you're transphobic or you're this or you're that. I'm not scared of trans people. I know they exist. I'm sorry that that's the hand that they have been dealt in life. We've all been dealt hands. But we have to use our brains and we have to be intelligent, and we need to realize that men are different than women. I don't understand what is so hard to grasp about that. And men do not belong in women's sports, and biological women should still have rights. Plain and simple. And I think that is what Riley Gaines is advocating for, and for her to allegedly get beat up by it is not acceptable. And I would say that if a trans activist was protesting again, or it was in protest for women being in men's sports, they don't deserve to be beat up or belittled either. We have difference of opinions. You're not willing to have a conversation, plain and simple. It's your way or the highway. And honey, that is not how the world works. That is not how the world works. You know how the world shouldn't work? People shouldn't be able to fucking farmer snot onto the bus. I am just going to tell you a few stories from my week. Let me know what you think. I was on the bus on the way home, and this man just farmer snotted onto the bus floor. And while I was puking in my mouth, I was wondering, who the fuck raised this man? Was he raised in a barn among the fucking animals in the pig pen? It is beyond me how anybody in their right mind could be in a public space in close quarters and farmer snot onto the ground. Not even the ground, the floor. Because we weren't outside, we were in a bus. Is this acceptable? Please let me know. And if you say yes, I will die on this hill. You fucking nasty. Another thing is, I understand people might have disabilities that are unseen, invisible disabilities, X, Y, and Z. But my sister and I were at Walmart, and they like triple charged her for something, and it was a whole deal. So then we had to go into the customer service line and get a refund. It was a whole thing. Walmart's a mess. Nobody knows what they're doing. Nobody wants to work there. It's a shit show. If you go into Walmart, prepare to be disappointed. Anyway, so there was a lady in one of the motorized scooters that to me should be utilized by the elderly, people that can't walk, that aren't able to walk. Perhaps maybe they lost a leg, or they're old and they have really bad arthritis. I don't know, something, I am not sure. And I'm not saying you should have a card that you have to show somebody in order to use the motorized machines, but this is what I saw. A lady who looked able to walk. She looked lazy based on her body stature and just how she held herself. But she ripped through the line, knocking down everything in sight. Just no excuse me, like, I'm in this motorized vehicle, bitch, and you better watch out because I'm the only person that exists and you live in my world. That is what it felt like. And so this other lady was helping a man, and he had a cart with him, and his car was in the way, and this woman stands up very easily, stands up. Like, there was no, it's gonna take me a second. This able-bodied woman stands up, pushes the man's cart out of the way, sits back down, and motorizes off. Now, how is that acceptable? Once again, just like I was talking about people like Dylan Mulvaney making a mockery out of women, this lady is making a mockery out of people that are actually disabled that could use the motorized vehicles. Why are we taking advantage of stuff that isn't for us? Clown Town. That's fucking why. I was just so taken aback. I was so taken aback. Why does this able-bodied woman need to be in a motorized cart? Because she's lazy. And that's how our society is. We're lazy. And that's why instead of having intellectual conversations, we scream and we chant and we spit and we fight, because why do the work when you can just resort to animalistic behaviors? It is hard to be a woman sometimes. And I will tell you this. So I was on the bus and I was reading my book, and these two people come in with suitcases. The man looked homeless. He looked like he was living out of bags. Not entirely too far gone. Didn't look like maybe he was a heroin addict, maybe some mental illness. And unfortunately, and it looked like he lived out of his bags. And then this cute little lady who had one bag who looked like she was traveling. For some reason, the interaction captured my eyes. So I'm reading, but I'm not really reading. I, had my headphones in, but I could hear because I wasn't listening to anything. And this man is talking to this woman, and she doesn't seem engaged. She seems like she's in a situation that I've been put in many times, and I know many women have been put in multiple times, is where a man starts talking to her and she does not want to be in the conversation, but she doesn't want to be rude because she's a nice person, and she feels bad, and then she kind of starts to overthink, like, I want to stand strong and I want to be brave and I want to say, stop talking to me. You're a stranger. But unfortunately, sometimes women, we be like, okay, yeah, like, nice to meet you. Does that make sense? I know all women have been in this situation. So I'm watching this all unfold, and this guy just won't stop talking to her, and she's pretending to be on her phone. I mean, she was probably texting somebody being like, if I die, blah, blah, blah. But I even watched her fake a phone call, and he was like talking, and she's like, I'm on the phone, sorry. Girl, I know you weren't on the phone. You were acting like you were on the phone, because guess what? You don't have service under the water. So but I would have done the same thing. I would have done the exact same thing. I would have, called somebody, acted like I was on the phone. I have to do that all the time in fucking taxi cabs, because the taxi cab drivers will just talk. But not in a nice, kind, how was your day sort of way, in a very engaging, kind of gropey, mentally and sexualized way. And this guy, he's going on and on about how they should link up, and he works for the Secret Service at the White House and X, Y, and Z. And I could just tell that this poor girl was being bothered by this man, and he was not picking up on any social cues. Once again, maybe that's mental illness, maybe he's just daft. But we really, as a society, need to start looking outward and picking up on some goddamn social cues. Jesus Christ. And I just watched this girl probably was so excited to go to wherever she was going, or excited to get home if she was coming from somewhere. And this guy just watched the joy drain out of this woman's face because she had to deal with this man. And I felt so bad for her, because as women, we have all been put in that position. We've been followed by men, and we finally put our foot down, and then all of a sudden, after minutes and minutes and minutes of them calling you the most beautiful girl in the world, once you put your foot down, you're the ugly, stupid ass bitch. Oh, well, you're nasty anyway, I didn't want you. And them turning it around on you. We need to get these people in check. We need to work on mental illness, plain and simple. And it really does start from the seeds. We need to start teaching our children how to act in society instead of letting them just be on their phones for 12 hours and leaving them up to their own devices. No. If you're a parent, you need to raise your sons right. If you're a parent, you need to raise your daughters right. You decided to have kids. I'm not saying all men are like that. I feel bad for men, honestly. I feel like, some men are scared to take women on dates or to make a move or to do anything because they're scared that they're going to be Me Too'd, or they're going to be accused of something that they didn't actually do. And then us as women need to speak up a little more too. I don't know. It's such a fine balance. I don't know what is right. I don't know what is wrong. I'm not sure of the solutions. But I felt really bad for that girl on the train, because I was thinking, I knew how she felt in that moment, and I connected with it, and I know other women connect with that feeling too, of just, why? I did not ask for this. Why are you inserting yourself into my personal space? So that's my tangent on the week. Go see some of those really good movies. There's actually a lot out. I'm really excited to see. What else did we cover? Tell me how you feel in the comments about Nike and Bud Light endorsing Dylan Mulvaney as their spokesperson. Let me know how you feel about men and women's sports, and how you feel about Leah Thomas. Do you think she's actually transsexual? Do you think she suffers autogynephilia? What do you think? Because that is a whole can of worms within itself. Let me know what you think about abled people making a mockery out of disabled people. Let me know why everybody is so fucking obsessed with Taylor Swift and whoever this Joe guy is splitting up. Nobody cares. There's so many other things going on in the world, and when I turn on the news, all it is Taylor Swift broke up with Joe. Okay. People go through breakups all the time. Let them live their life. Nobody cares. But I guess they do. So tell me why you care, because I would love to know why you guys all care about Taylor's relationships so fucking much. Thank you for tuning into this edition of Tealana Talks, and I'll be next week for the Shakedown.